streaming now. So, Andy, if you want to update everybody with everything that's happened from your side this week.
Yes. My laptop's just logged out for some reason, and I don't like that in case it does something weird. So, yeah, I will put the link into Discord straight after this AMA. The Frog and Bucket Club has now, well, the Manchester Comedy Club in the Infiniverse has been rebranded as the Joke and Frog and Bucket Comedy Club. I've just updated this afternoon all the posters in that said club for the show, their first show that's happening on Saturday, the 3rd of December, 8 p.m. UK time. I've now got all those posters, so I've updated the club. I've also booked the event on Oculus, so that's really cool. So really looking forward to getting that going. That's really positive. We have got all Next Chain Media and New Joke City clubs about to be rebranded. There's been a slight delay due to an illness in his family, so he's been a bit pulled out. But the schedule, the way that was looking when I was planning it with him the end of last week, is there's potentially between 20 and 40 shows over the next 12 weeks that they're going to be streaming in there, plus loads of other exciting opportunities with them going forward. No doubt Frog and Bucket, there's going to be a load of shows coming in from them afterwards as well. It's just getting that first one going. So that's all really good there. All the other stuff's
before
bubbling away.
Yeah, before you go on, Andy, though, I think people need to understand how big Frog and Bucket is, right? And because Andy and I are there tomorrow, and they have the headline act is someone called Russell Kane. He's as big as it comes in the UK, like proper A-list comedian in the UK. Yeah. We are going to be able to stream those sort of names regularly, like 4 times a week, isn't it?
Yeah, they have anywhere between 4 and 6/7 comedians 4 nights a week. At least one of those nights is a well-known comedian, so it is really good. It's also one of those venues. I mean, it pretty much sells out every night. It's got some of the best comedians ever to grace the UK go through its doors. It's got loads of really good up-and-coming talent as well. So we're going to be putting a bit of a marketing plan together to smash that out from the end of this week. A nice run-up for a week. So get sharing. It's going to be really, really good. They will be doing more as well, but this is just the first one that they're running. Now, all the other comedy stuff's still bubbling away with everybody else, but things take time. We are getting there in negotiations. PBJ Management, who we've had several meetings with, who have discussed internally going into our clubs. We have got another meeting with them either Friday or Monday. Simon's managed to reconnect with them. Well, they chased us, interestingly.
Yeah, and these guys are... So the UK Comedy Awards on ITV and Channel 4, they are the biggest awards for that entire industry in England. And, the people that we're talking to now, they were on those stages, right, representing all the people that appeared pretty much on that stage. So this gives us an in with all of literally the household names. Not that we're just supporting household names, but we are now moving forward to the point at which we are going to be able to produce. What they're interested in is getting these people in front of worldwide audiences, which they don't necessarily touch at the moment. But Andy's going to fill you in about some of the conversations we're having with other metaverses as well.
Yeah, so that's a bit of an update on the comedy. Now, there's other conversations bubbling away as well, but I just wanted to inform you that that's booked in for Oculus, which is great. Can't wait for it. One of the metaverses, now there's things going on with Spatial, with Alt Spaces. Sammy's done loads of great work. I know Jane's sort of been working with it, and they are in the diary to talk about with the team getting these things going. We have been having conversations with TCG Worlds. I know Antoine and Mark worked really hard on building that relationship. Their CEO has been away. Simon chased up as Antoine was chasing as well. He did come back to us just yesterday. They have built out our club. They're desperate to run content. Interestingly, the CEO put in the Telegram chat that he'd seen the press release that I'm about to share about the Frog and Bucket and loved it. So you've now got people in those metaverses who are building clubs for us for free, seeing what we're doing from a PR perspective, going, this is great. So that the momentum is starting to turn here. It's really, really good. So Spatial and Alt Spaces will start to work out. We will be working out with TCG Worlds as well, which is going to be really cool. I expect this to start ramping in over the next month and a half to 2 months at various timescales, depending on how quick we can get things in. There has been chats with the metaverses as well. However, there was one last night with a couple of guys via one of our very close contacts and founders. We're doing something really interesting, and I'm going to be speaking to Jessica tomorrow night to see if we can do a couple of evenings with a 360 camera as a test for these guys, so they can trial their tech they're building out, because they're taking a proof of concept to the people who were responsible for the Super Bowl in the new year, and nobody will give them a test. And I said, we will. We'll get a comedy show streamed live for you to practice on. It doesn't matter if mistakes made. We're here to find out ways of working with people like this, and they are already building out for us a template for a club, and they're going to be sharing that in. So that's really exciting as well. So we're now getting people coming to us from metaverses, going, how can we help you run shows in our clubs? So I think it's really, really exciting, all of that.
Bearing in mind that particular metaverse that has come to us, they are already contracted to build the VR experience for the Super Bowl next year, right?
Yeah, that's what's working on. And they need a couple of proof of concepts to help them get things through. So I said we would do that. So I'll speak to Jessica tomorrow, because I think she's got 360 camera anyway, Simon. And I said to these guys, don't go for, you need an MVP here. You just need to get some tests done. We can improve on the kit and other things as we go forward. So I think that's really exciting, because that'll give a different type of experience. And I have talked before about different metaverses will give different types of experience to different numbers of people in different ways. And what we'll find is some comedians will prefer to do a fully immersive. Some comedians, they'll be happy for it to be streamed on a screen. Some consumers will be happy for it to be fully immersive. Some might want to just access it via a mobile app. So we are working with different partners, and I think that's a good segue to our friend Brian that we've been talking to over the app. There's other conversations going on with him. Simon and I have got to scope out a bit more around the ecosystem, working with their app, which will be available on mobile, desktop, tablet, be able to link your wallets, your NFTs, rewards, access to metaverses, access to the shows that are Web 2 based, because not everybody's yet into Web 3, and just trying to build out the brand and get it seen across wider, bigger platforms, and to encourage people into Web 3. So there's a lot going on there as well. That was another really good meeting yesterday. I think it's taken us 4 weeks to get that meeting in the diary, just because of people's diaries, time differences, not always easy to do. They were the people who got us the in with Polygon. So, these connections are all working really, really well. So, yeah, I think it's really exciting times. I think just from a priority perspective, Simon will come onto the market in a moment, because what I'm concerned about is laying the foundations even more into all the metaverses with all the shows ready for the, when the run happens. So my priority is I've got to just get some final marketing stuff sorted for some of the team who are willing to help out, get that ball rolling to promote all the new shows coming in, because we've got some really good content to share. And then we'll be focusing on the other metaverses like Spatial, TCG Worlds, Alt Spaces, then getting the show streamed into them as well, reaching new audiences. And we'll just continue to build on all those things. So, it's really exciting times. I'm looking forward to seeing the shows myself, because, I can't drive over to Manchester every other day to see a comedy show. And that's the reality. I can't. And these comedians that we'll be seeing, they're probably not on YouTube. They're probably not... they've certainly not been on TV. And based on what Simon and I saw with Domingo and Jorge about a month and a half ago, they were brilliant, but they weren't household names. So I'm really looking forward to next Saturday to see some comedians that I've never heard of, who I'm sure are absolutely brilliant. So I encourage everybody to go and have a look at that next Saturday at 8 p.m. UK time. It will continue to stream for probably a week afterwards. We'll keep it in the club anyway, but it will be, and this was always the plan, it will only be in the Manchester club because it's the Frog and Bucket. Because what's going to happen very, very quickly, folks, is that DC's going to have his New Joke City club, is going to have his Next Chain Media club, and Monkey Butt are also going to have their club because they're going to be doing other stuff. So 4 clubs are going to be uniquely co-branded for different people, and different events will start to roll out across different nights. So there may well come a time, I would guess in January, where on a Thursday night, there could be something running in 3 or 4 different clubs that are completely unique to that club and won't be. So we're going to start splitting out how the streaming works. So that's going to be a challenge. There'll be things to learn. There'll be mistakes made, but I'm not worried about that. That's how we grow and develop, is by trying these things out, because a lot of it's not been done before. So yeah, it's all really cool. It's really good.
Yeah, and across multiple metaverses. And
Absolutely, yeah.
And the bigger metaverses, and people, like you've just said, people are coming to us now, and now once they start seeing more and more content, the issue is where we are. Obviously, there's a lull in the crypto market at the moment, and everybody's sort of got their, they're wondering which way it's going, what's happening, and that's sort of to the same extent what's going on in the metaverse, because a lot of these metaverse projects depend on what's happening in the crypto market and DeFi for their momentum. So we've seen over the last 6-9 months a lot of metaverses spring up, but they're all in the same position as us. A lot of those are waiting to press the button, like TCG, to press the button for when the next upturn comes in the whole of the market. Our issue is to get enough eyeballs on the content. So we've got the content, we've got more content than anyone will ever believe, or we have such a head start in the market for comedy compared to anybody, that we are ready and set up for success now. We just now need more eyeballs, and more importantly, we need the sponsorship of that content. So that's where we're going next, speaking to people about ad placement networks, sponsorship of shows. That also depends on being able to get the metaverses to report the stats and visitors and engagement and all of that sort of stuff. And none of these metaverses have that data as yet. Look at Decentraland saying, making a massive announcement about them having 8,000 users in a day. And that business is valued at 1.2 billion. Now, some of our shows have had 15 to 20,000 people at them already. Unfortunately, we don't have as much data to back that up as we would like or need to present to an advertising or sponsor partner. Now, couple that with the fact that the message that came to us from PBJ management was, right, we have been having internal discussions since we met you last time, and we now really, really want to push forward and get into the metaverse, because they're thinking, look, our comedians really want to be able to be the ones that are saying they are leading the way and they're setting a path for the future. That's interesting enough for them to get involved. Now, it's not interesting enough for us that if we can't get revenue from it. So that's why we're looking at building the app and being able to then bring on a sponsor partner where we can prove visitor numbers, prove that people are getting paid to watch. So that model is what we're pushing forward with, is paid to watch comedy. So people who are consuming will be able to automatically be dropped a percentage of the sponsorship revenue from those shows. 1, to the person who's watching, 2, to the club or performer who's actually producing the content, and 3, to the project. So that then requires that app to be built, because that is the halfway house or the stepping stone to the big volumes of people for now, right? We all know that we're early, and we all know that in a year or two's time there will be 10, 20, 50 times the number of people in the metaverse, and the metaverses that are successful at that point will be the ones that are pulling all the audiences together to watch our content. Until such time as that happens, we need the stepping stone, which is the app, to get massive volumes of people. And the person we're speaking to, Brian, he's already produced apps that have had 40 plus million users, and he's, more importantly, brought the sponsorship together, and he is speaking to projects on our behalf to see if they are interested in sponsoring / having comedy as part of their offering within their advertising remit. So it's all right us going to a brand, and we're not going out to try and find a brand that's going to bung us $500 for a show, right? That's not what's happening here. We're looking at bringing the really big brands in for long-term contracts for significant income for the project. That doesn't happen off of 15, 20,000 viewers. It does happen when you've got clubs across all of the metaverses that are significant, and you've got the amount of content that we will have. So that's where we're pushing. It's not a quick process. It is a business where, and I say it's a business in real life now. And to get people coming to us now that are significant household names and wanting to partner with us, because we've got the technical ability and we've got the infrastructure and we have the footprint already and the brand, that means we'll be able to facilitate their path into the metaverse, and then it really will snowball, as we've already seen, with that article that got released today about Joke partnering with the Frog and Bucket, which is, outside of London, the biggest comedy club in the UK. And there's an argument to say, the UK and the US probably are the number one and number two home of comedy in the world at the moment. If we can branch that out across other countries, all well and good. But yeah, we are putting the footprint down across the UK and the US, now partnered with the biggest club in the UK, and we're going to be progressing discussions with the Gotham in the US and others. We're setting this all up so that we're ready for next spring when that bull run happens, or we keep our fingers crossed that bull run's happening, because, well, we can talk a little bit more about the market as well, because I know we've got Dranko is listening. I don't know if he's still on here or maybe he's left, but once we start talking about how that market's going to move, I'm still of a mind that we've still got a significant downside to go. There's a lot of pressure being put on by institutions and governments. And, a larger conspiracy theory would say that this is the point at which the governments of the UK, the US and other large economies, particularly China, are trying to wrestle control of DeFi and crypto from us. From those of you that have got in early. This is where they are trying to break the back of it and come out the other side. Now, when it does come out the other side with the legitimate projects in place, and we are looking at a scenario where 90%, maybe more, of projects that are out there just disappear, because the whole space does need tidying up. It does need it needs a deep clean to get rid of all the shit coins and projects that shouldn't exist. And then a whole new world order comes out where the bridge between real life, the normal banking system of fiat, digital economies come to fruition then, and then it all takes off again. And that's where we are. People are looking obviously for resolution in things like the Ripple case. I had a message this week, I'll not say who from, but I had a message this week saying, should I be buying Ripple? There's people still obviously spreading rumours all over the place about which tokens people should be buying. We will be talking to the VIP group about the projects that we have on our watch list. The good thing is there is no panic and there's no need to rush, because we will see when that upside has come and is coming, and it'll be obvious. So there are so many opportunities for creation of generational wealth coming up that you will, people won't believe what's coming, right? There are many what I would call fully legitimate A-star projects out there that are so undervalued at the moment. Like, one of my favorites is, for example, Litecoin. And I'm not going to go through my entire list, but at the moment, if you're trading LTC, you can see it moves 4, 5, 8% either way a day. And there's a really good, if you're a scalper, there's a really good opportunity to make money there. Obviously, you need significant capital if you're going to make it worthwhile, because there's obviously trading fees and some of, depending on where your broker is as well. But I spoke to somebody this week who was a victim of FTX. He had several $1,000s in there and didn't even know that it had gone. Only for the fact that he's not somebody who doesn't really pay attention to crypto. And he said to me, well, look, I've got about $250,000 across crypto. And I went, well, how long ago did you check it? Because to be fair, he's probably got less than $50,000 worth, and a good chunk of that was in FTX. And surprise, surprise, he couldn't withdraw it when he tried to, which, well, luckily for him, he's a financially very wealthy individual anyway, so he's not dependent on it. But be very careful which exchanges you hold your crypto on at the moment, because mine is not on any of them. Mine has been taken out onto MetaMask and is protected by a Trezor, and it will be staying there until such time as I want to start trading again. And that is probably, I can't see that being this side of Christmas, just because, obviously we've got really heavy inflation across the board. We're still under the pressure of the squeeze in the UK, particularly of energy prices and inflation. We only need to see a really bad bit of news, and the washout hasn't come from FTX yet. I think Sam Bankman-Fried has been spotted in the Bahamas again today, looking a little bit worse for wear. I'm sure his bank balance isn't worse for wear, because that turned out to be one enormous, well, whatever you call it, fraud, Ponzi, misguided adventure, etc. You'd like to think that there wasn't any bad or malpractice in there, but I think you'll find when push has come to shove and they've over leveraged themselves, the powers that be, i.e. Binance, maybe the Chinese government, the US government, etc., have moved the chess pieces on the board to make sure that he can't get out of the corner he was in. And that was all facilitated, really, I think, by CZ. So look, who knows what's going on in the background, but I don't think he'll probably have to worry about money ever again. Obviously he won't, if he's stolen a great big chunk out of the Bahamas, I think, and that's why he's still there. And if he ever sets foot on US soil, I think he'll have he'll have a few bigger questions to answer. But the point here is, those of you that make it into the VIP, and we are still recruiting for that, and if there are people listening who want to get involved in helping the community, be that helping us on any of our social channels, helping in the metaverses, helping in any way on the project, it's that VIP community that will be getting the benefits. We'll be getting the calls that we're able to give. We'll be able to see where we're going and what we think the market is doing. And there is so much opportunity the other side. Once we get out of this period of consolidation, and the world begins to return to normal, that's when we're going to see the biggest bull run you've ever seen. Well, it will be ridiculous. The opportunity to make hundreds of times on what you put in. Imagine going in with $1,000. And I've seen, well, there is, in the last bull run, I know somebody who turned $70 into $9 million. And I'm not saying you're all going to do that. I will do my best to help everybody understand how you can try and do that. But I think the opportunity in this next bull run is bigger, much bigger than the last one. So just pay attention, stick with us, help us. We will genuinely help you. And then obviously when we get to the point of relaunching the new token with its new utility, we will have a project that is second to none. And I genuinely believe that. And it annoyed me this week. There was somebody came on the Telegram group and just put, this project is a joke. It's a scam, blah, blah, blah. And I said to the person, because I DM'd them personally, I said, you clearly haven't been turning up to any AMAs. You don't understand what the project is about. You're a pump and dumper who may have bought some token in the first place, just hoping to get X number of return without being involved, right? And it's those projects that aren't going to last. Those projects that, like, look at the fact that I think it's 20-something% of Coinbase is SHIB. Like, that is a joke, right? That is a joke, right? How on earth? There's so many people sat there holding tokens that are going to be completely worthless, and that money is only going to come back into the tier 1 projects, the good projects that come out the other side. And there's a list. I have got a very long list of all of the ones that I'm interested in. We will go on that journey together. The people that are in this room and the people that join us in the VIP, the people that are involved and the people that help with the project, right? And it's not a very difficult sum in my mind to make, that those that get involved, those that help, they'll be the ones that we will help through that next period. And there's a lot of knowledge in this room. It's not just me and Andy. There's, Mark knows a great deal. I'm not going to go through, I can see names in here and I'm not going to start reading them out, but there's a lot of people in this room that understand the market and will be able to help everybody and educate everybody. And that's really what that VIP group's going to do for people. Andy, is there anything else you want to
add? Yeah, one little thing. And this is not about name dropping. This is just about the reality of the conversations that we're having. The guys we were talking to over the app, Brian, the meeting he had after us last night was with, in terms of advertisers, was with Omnicom. Now, I've spent 30 years in the ad industry, so I know who they are. If you don't know who they are, look them up. They're one of the world's biggest advertising networks. They own most of the big agencies. There's a group of them. There's Dentsu, Omnicom, a couple of other ones. That is massive. They work for the world's biggest brands and advertisers. They're one of the biggest media buyers in the world. And they're the kind of conversations he's having. But he calls Simon and I his friends, and he wants to help us because he loves comedy and he loves the project. And the true spirit of Web3, and it fascinates me. I don't think I've ever known a space as collaborative, wanting to help each other as I have done with this space. Because everybody knows deep down we're all going to make money anyway. But actually, why don't we help everybody? Have a better experience, make a few more quid, help each other with mental health and all these kind of things, and so much more, so many more things. And I think the whole space, it's eye-watering. I think it's just amazing, that we have people like him and Mijibu helped us get into Polygon, and, people like the guys at TCG that Antoine and Mark met, and, we're helping this other metaverse get their little proof thing right, and everybody helps each other. And I think it's just brilliant and a real testament to everybody involved. But when you've got people talking to companies like Omnicom, things are getting serious, because they ain't going to piss around on £500 sponsorships. And this is where the big challenge comes. Simon's right. The metaverses are not giving details because they know they're not up to speed yet on user numbers and understanding the data of those users. But if we can link some of that into an app that is Web 2, that kind of bridges the two of them, it is already built out to understand that customer journey. And once we can start to get some of our hands on that data, I've got contacts who run some of the world's biggest media companies who I've worked with. I'll go knocking on the door myself and going, come on, we're going for a coffee, we're going for a drink, here's what's going on. Are you interested in getting your advertisers? And it will start to happen. It's just we are early with these things to be ironed out, but it will come. It will absolutely come. So I think the future is very, very bright. And as we've always said with this project, laugh all the way to the bank, hopefully. We have a good time, we make a few quid, and we put a smile on people's faces. And I think, it's great. It's brilliant.
Hello.
Hey, Antoine, how you doing?
How you doing? You got in touch with the TCG people? Did y'all get in touch with them?
Yeah, you've missed it all, Antoine. Yeah, we've got a meeting with him.
Okay, I was just making sure that y'all got in touch with them, and everything's been good. I've been on all the AMAs, and everybody's got to be patient. When the bull run come, they'll be happy.
No, it's those. Look, we have genuinely and still are having conversations with hundreds of people, and like if you start thinking about the fact that we were having conversations with PBJ 6-9 months ago, and it's now that they're coming back to us and want, actually, you can't foist it upon these type of people. You've got to plant the seed, and unfortunately, the seed of the metaverse is last year. A lot of people going, well, it's going to be the next big fad, it's going to be the next big thing, but none of them knowing how to get involved. And then it's a great idea when you pitch it to these people. It's a great idea, right? And they don't understand it. 2, they know they want it, but 3, they're like, it's not their priority at that very moment, because it's something that they've got to get their head around, but then they start to see others doing it, and then they remember the conversation they've had with us, and that's when they come back and start talking about, right, we must do this. Now, that's when it happens, rather than us. If we try and push it, you'll just get them, they'll peter out and it will not happen. It's got to be their choice, right? And it's all those hundreds of conversations that we've had over the last year that will be coming back to pay the dividends over the next 3 to 6 months. So, look, we're still fighting hard and we're building. As soon as when we've got this, we've got the best platform anybody's got. We've got the best roadmap that anybody's got, and we've got the footprint. And the metaverse is coming to us, and it won't be very long before we'll be able to say to them, well, look, we've got all the content. These comedians need paying X, we need paying Y, and that's going to be all attributed to the new token and the NFT holders. So it's taking longer than we'd like, but that's just the market, right? And there's nothing we can control in the macro, right? Because we've got, you've got worldwide events pushing things around. You've got the possibility of further escalation of war in Russia, Ukraine, although that looks like, touch wood, it's going in the right direction, but still not resolving itself. And that could be another 3 to 6 months, right? But for all we know, Putin could drop dead tomorrow. Not touching wood on that one, but who knows if that were to happen, what would happen, and would anybody take over that is friendly, or could it get worse? There's also so many things happening in the world that we are without our control. So until the macro market changes and crypto wants to actually grow up and move in the right direction, with a lot of these shitcoin projects disappearing, that's when we're really going to see things take off. Or the investors, institutions, central banks, and all of those guys get involved when they believe we've hit the bottom. You're going to see it move really quick at that point. And it'll be, like I say, it will be obvious, right? But there won't need to be a rush. So it's like Bitcoin moving from 15 something to 16 something at the moment. That's not the move we're looking for, right? We're looking for Bitcoin to move through 25 to 28k. And it'll take a while to do that. It's not going to jump there overnight, certainly not at the moment. and you will see it happening, and you will see a steady uptick, and you'll see the other projects following, and you'll see the confidence coming in, right? That's when we really get geared up properly for the launch, and we are doing our very best to get everything teed up to be ready for that point, right? So it's all good. There's not an awful lot more we can add to it for today. Keep pushing on, and if you do want to help us I know there's a group of people in here that are already committed to helping us on social, and you're going to see a big push on our social with other people getting involved and helping manage, TikTok, Insta, our Facebook. We really need to be across a lot of these, but we're going to have the content to serve into those channels, which is the important thing. So we do appreciate everybody that turns up week in, week out. If you've got people that want to join a great project, get them involved. I can see Dave's here. I don't know whether Dave wants to come on stage at all. Maybe he's just listening, or he's in a meeting. He has to accept. There he comes. Hey Dave, are you there? He's still on silent.
He is still on silent.
Oh, hey. How you doing,
Dave.
man?
What's up? I was just listening in, but yeah, I'm here.
No, well, look, there is a possibility that have we talked Miami at all, Andy, yet?
No, we haven't, because we've not actually got confirmation or details of the actual event yet. We need to speak to our friend over it.
Yeah, so we are as a group, hopefully, going to be over in Miami in the end of March, and there's a lot of the really big events happening in a 2-week period. So touch wood, we will be out there. Touch wood, the market will be moving, and touch wood, everything will be like a rocket ship for the entire project. And we'll be on stage on several stages, but again, none of that is confirmed as yet. How's it going in the US, Dave? Are you seeing the market move at all? Or are you seeing, what's the economy like out there?
Pretty crappy.
Super crappy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's like I try to, I guess from our teachings in the personal growth world, we try to put our heads down and not let that affect us, right? As Peter, good old Peter Sage would teach us. But I try to reduce that noise and just do what I'm doing. But yeah, it's definitely affecting a lot of people day to day, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because inflation is ridiculous over here. I think it's just at 11.7. So they're going to have to do something. They can't let it carry on like this, because people will be, when you're starting to get average families going to food banks, that's not great. But we'll see. Yeah,
well, it's definitely good news about Miami if that happens, because of course, love to see you guys again, and that would be fun. I just actually, speaking of Peter, we just had he just had his millionaire business school over in Cyprus, and he asked me to speak on digital marketing, so I was able to throw in some comp in there for the first time, so we got to hear some of that. It went pretty well.
I'm yet waiting, Dave, for you to do a sketch around tea bags. You've got to do it, man. You've got to do it. I'm waiting for you to.
You can fuck right off.
Show on tea bags. And then a show on tea bags.
I was going to say, we need a new event to get more material like we did last time.
We do.
Well, maybe we can get a hands up from the audience if you're in the US and you fancy meeting us in Miami in the spring next year. I know you guys all live too far apart. It's like 8 hours across the country. I can get to America in 8 hours from here, or cover the entirety of Europe.
Well, what's interesting about that, Vic and I were just talking about that. Like when we so we flew from New York to London. Now, of course, we're going with the jet stream, of course, going that way. But it was 5 hours and 45 minutes from New York to London. It takes me longer to get to New York to LA. from here. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously you're going the other way, but yeah, that just gives you some idea.
Yeah.
I think Dave's just turned us into a US state, hasn't he?
Yeah.
London.
I'd rather cross there.
Yeah. No. You're right though. It's a lot closer than you think. But if we genuinely hope we're in Miami in March, April, and that is going to be the real kickstart, because it's a year ago last week that we were on stage in Houston, and that year's gone pretty quick, right?
It has.
Yeah, it went pretty quick. We first met y'all.
Yeah.
November. Yeah.
It's been a strange old year, but a lot's happened. A lot has happened.
Antoine better bring those turkey legs this time, because I didn't get any.
Yeah.
You didn't get any turkey legs?
No. They were all gone.
Mad. Yeah. If you don't follow Antoine, you need to start following him then. Mind you, he probably won't deliver out as far as you, Dave.
I know.
We want to come to New York on New Year's Eve, Dave. We get with you.
Nice. Let me know.
Yeah. I'll let you know. If y'all coming March or April to Miami, I'm coming to hang out with y'all.
All right.
Yeah, well, we'll let everybody know the details as we move forward.
Yeah. Hopefully the market will be good and we'll be celebrating.
Yeah, it would be good. A lot of good stuff happening.
Cool. So look, if anybody's got any questions, we haven't asked for questions. Being an AMA, I suppose we should be asking for questions. But yeah, I'm going to read in the AMA live chat. The sound. Has anyone had the sound that hasn't been great?
Been fine, my end.
Yeah.
The sound's been great.
Oh, Tom says he's happy to see the market going down even more, as am I. Yeah, one of my favourite, like I say, Litecoin. I'm waiting for that to hit. If that hits $30, I'm all in, because that's going to be. I'll be all over that one. I think that's another Bitcoin in the long run. But like I say, we'll cover some of this off with the VIP community and give you some tips and tell you where we're going. But there's no panic yet, because we don't think we're at the bottom, nowhere near it. And I think if we look at how Bitcoin could go to probably below 10k, and there were plenty of people saying Bitcoin won't ever go back down below 19 when it got back over 20. I think all of the charts and all the sentiment shows you it's got a way to go yet. And that's not doom and gloom, that's opportunity, right? That is a great opportunity for all of us. So look, we're going to get in at the bottom and make sure that we're in at the bottom, and we're going to get the massive upside for everybody. So
Simon,
go on.
Hey, Simon, the trading partners that I'm with, says it's going to go below 10, and after it does that, then it's got all the liquidity, and there's a lot of liquidity left before it's going to go below that, and then it go up. But right now, it's probably going to go below 10 in the next, couple of months. So just be prepared and put your money in. Then when it goes a bull run, you'll be happy.
Well, it's only got to go below. It's only got to be one bit of bad news for it to go below that, right? And
one bad news to go below that, but it's a lot of liquidity in there because I've been trading, so it's a lot of liquidity in the thing. So that liquidity has to be gone before it can go to a bull run. You know what I'm saying? So right now it's in a bear run.
Yeah, and we're going to see it's Bitcoin, fine. Look, it's a safe bet. If it goes below 10, you can put a chunk in, not financial advice, obviously. And everybody makes their own decisions and choices. But if it goes below 10, then there's not a lot of downside, right? I might regret saying that, because personally I think it could go down to 5 or 6. But if we see 5 or 6, I'll be trading it on a broker rather than buying it myself and making an awful lot of upside. That'll be a trade you can leave open. But if people want to learn how to do that, that's something that you really do need educating on, because there's a lot more upside in trading it on a broker than actually owning any Bitcoin at all. But there'll be a lot of other tokens that are, like, you're not going to see you're not going to see Bitcoin do 20, 30x. Even if it goes below 10, you're not going to see it go and do 200k, right? But you will see a lot of, there's so many coins, right, that are going to go 30, 40, 50x or more, 100x, right? And solid projects. So, you know, I was talking to a couple of the guys, and some of you may have heard it mentioned. You know, there's projects like Algorand and Engine, Theta, Atom. You know, there's a few others. There's a lot others that I'm following, but check some of these out, and we should all be together in the cryptocurrency section of this Discord, working together to help investigate and plan and get that list together so that we're all ready. Like, there's so many people going in at the moment still trying, like, it's ridiculous. There's people buying and buying and buying, right? And okay, they'll be the long-term holders because a lot of those people are trying to set the floor. But when we see another push down, and maybe another push after that, and we could still be talking about a push in January or February, wait for that pull phase, because that's when there's a lot of money to be made, and we'll help you do that. So pay attention, turn up, see us every week. I bet there's not many projects that have had AMAs every single week for over a year now. So look, look, we will stick here. We will be here every week. Any questions, do ask them. If you want to get involved, you want to help out, it would be appreciated. I know there's some in the room that are definitely getting involved. Watch out for your invite to certain groups. I don't know whether Dave Lee Salt wants to speak. I don't know whether he's available. I will invite him on stage, Dave. If you're around, maybe you can or you can't. I just wanted to ask you if you knew, if there was any updates on the UK district, because hopefully you heard that the Frog and Bucket is opening in the Manchester club. I can see your microphone's gone off, Dave, but I can't hear you. No, he's still on silent. He's come on stage, but he can't speak. I'll give him one more go. It's like being one of those TV hosts that's trying to get somebody to come through, and I can't see your icon flashing any either, Dave. It's probably Discord is a nightmare when it's like this, but it is. What we'll do is we'll get an update from you, because it's the UK district within the Infiniverse is really starting to gain some momentum. And if there's anybody in here that wants property in the UK district, we can arrange that at a really good discount, because both Dave and I and a couple of others own some property there. We're obviously going to be expanding our property in Metaverse, in Megastar City as well, so we're putting more of a footprint down there. It is obviously the project's objective to be across as many of these metaverses as possible, with our home being the Infiniverse, because the community is so vibrant there. I can see Dave's got his headphones on now, or he's got some other symbol that I've never seen. Let's try him again now. Are you there, Dave?
No,
he's gone. He's gone completely. Oh well, we tried. We're coming up to the top of the hour. Look, let's just keep positive. Let's all help each other. We've got these big meetings coming up. There's loads going on. If you want to be in the VIP, get involved. And if you want to help out on some of the other social, and you're not necessarily a Discord person, let us know, and we'll get you upgraded into VIP as well. So, Andy, anything you want to finish up before we wrap it up?
Just very quickly to those people like Sammy and one or two others regarding all the marketing. I won't be doing anything tonight. I'm up very, 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 very early tomorrow. I've got to pick Simon up at stupid o'clock to get over to Manchester very early. So I'm kind of going to be out of action until Thursday lunchtime. I'll then be picking things up and getting things organised and reaching out to people. Might try and do a bit tomorrow if I can between things, but don't expect much to happen in the next 48 hours, to be honest. It's probably likely going to be Thursday onwards.
Andy, can I get with you next week about a meeting with snookies and have some events?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course you can.
Okay.
Just send me a couple of options on dates, Antoine, into WhatsApp, and I'll have a look at my diary for you.
All right.
Okay. And Dave Arena, have a think about doing, even if it's just a small show. If you fancy doing something again, it doesn't have to be highly polished. You know, we could try something a bit weird and crazy if you want in the for one of the shows if you fancy it sometime.
Yeah, I'm open.
Even if we do it like some kind of weird kind of Zoom chat with me and Simon, and you kind of just take the piss out of us or something. I don't know. Just have a think about something. Be good to get you in there again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right. Right. Thanks, folks.
Awesome. Okay, we'll see everybody next week. In the meantime, if you've got questions, bung them in the chat. And if anybody's got any other questions, you do need to DM me, but you need to friend me first, because I can't. Well, you shouldn't be accepting friend requests from anyone who says they're an admin, right? You need to contact us first. But yeah, let's wrap it up, and we will see you next week. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers, take care. Bye.